It worked. It worked if you did.
I mean, they had 2 weeks now to snap out of it, so hopefully not. I did see the video, though. They looked a bit happy after the game.
Now, I want to go back to that Canberra game. Now, obviously, you guys were. I feel like you were sailing. It was calm. The sun was shining. There wasn't a cloud in the sky. You guys were up, and then Vesna Milivojevic decided that she wanted to go beast mode. What were you feeling in the moment when Vesna was just went crazy?
I mean, that game was crazy. I still don't even know what happened. She's a quality player, so she really turned it on, like you said. But I think it came down to a few mistakes that we did and let them come back into the game a bit. So trying to fine-tune that for the weekend, and yeah.
I mean, conceding goals, particularly late in games, has been a bit of a problem that's reared its head over the last few weeks of the season. Is that something that you've addressed or focused on in the last couple of weeks, or that you're at all worried about coming into the finals?
Yeah, we definitely have addressed it. There's been a few things we've kind of tried to fine-tune, I guess, before coming into finals. We're always learning every single week. So, yeah, it is one of our bigger issues is letting a team back in the end of games, and we kind of switch off at a point in the game. But, yeah, we're always trying to change that and always learning. So, yeah.
Good. It's definitely good to see. Like, although I was a bit tense, I can say, last weekend. There were objects thrown at the TV, I must admit. But no, I think one of the things that has been interesting to watch with you guys over the season is the range of style of play. I feel like you've had a lot of different formations. Obviously, there's been a change of coach in there. How have you find, like, I feel like it's been a bit of a hectic season for you guys in terms of a bit of chop and change, but, like, how have you found, like, the consistency in there?
Yeah, we have changed formations a bit, but I think kind of Dario's side of it is that he thinks we are kind of good enough to adapt each week, and I think we have been most weeks. Like, it is hard, but we've had so many injuries as well where we've had to kind of chop and change, like you've said, so we've tried to adapt to the players that we have at the time and each week. But, yeah, it's a good challenge for us. It has been a bit of a crazy season, though.
No, it's been a crazy season, but you've been one of the recurring faces that we've seen throughout the season. And I'm not going to lie, here on Radio Dub, we've loved every part of it, okay? We are, I think, what have we decided? We're torpedoes? Is that,
the Kaitlyn Torpey fan club known as Torpedoes.
So we are very much a fan of that. Now, I was chatting to Miranda earlier in the day, and she said that out of anyone in the Melbourne City squad, you are the most likely to be an attacker. Now, I don't know, do we agree with that statement? Do we disagree? How are we feeling about that?
I love my position, but I 100% agree that I would love to be a 9 on any day. I definitely don't want any coach to put me there because I'm not a 9, but I every single training, they'll put me in defense and I'll take the bib off and say I'm not a defender. So, but I love my position in all seriousness, but I do joke around that I want to just score goals all the time, which doesn't happen as often in my position, but yeah, she knows the way I want to be. But every coach don't put me there because I'm not a 9.
But I will say, you did score, I can't remember what team it was. I did call the goal, but you did score a goal, a really nice goal. I think it was outside the box. Do you remember which one I'm talking about? Well, I can't remember. It was like pretty early in the season. It's so like, you don't score that many goals, Kaitlyn. So can you rack your... No. She's a defender. She's the defender. You know what I'm saying, Kaitlyn. You know what I'm defending. Can you remember what goal I'm talking about? There was like a really good goal. This is very embarrassing for me.
Keep digging because
it's such a low point for me. It's been a rough day.
Yeah. No, out of one of my 2 goals this season, I can remember it was a Newcastle game.
See, there we go. No, it was a good goal. I remember it. I just can't remember what game.
So clearly, yeah.
No, Kaitlyn. I remember that you scored the goal. I just can't remember what team it was. Like,
Are you really Torpedo fan?
No,
Expose.
Nothing could hurt me more than somebody saying that I'm not a member of the Torpedo squad. Nothing could hurt me more. I'm very upset. I'm very, very upset. Now, Kaitlyn, I want to just talk about your season as a whole. Like, big picture, how have you seen your development? How have you seen your game? And obviously, you know, being one of those regular faces in the squad, how have you seen the consistency in your game as well?
Not even just this season. I think ever since I've joined City, the consistency has been massive for me. It's like a massive reason why I decided to move away from home. So it's been amazing to get that game time, and I think I am improving every single game. My football, I'm learning so much. Like every single training I'm learning from Dario, who's a quality coach, but even just the players around me as well. So I'm loving it at the moment. I'm loving my football and loving learning and the consistency, like you said.
And I mean, Melbourne City, it's looked like a really good match for you in terms of, I mean, I know that we've spoken about the different ways that we've played, but you've always looked like a player who's
played? Are you a part of the squad now, Oscar?
We've spoken about the different ways that Melbourne City has played. I do apologise. But yeah, it feels like regardless, you're always really influential in the games. You're always given the scope to really affect the how the game is being played. Have you felt like that, and is that something that you've really valued?
Yeah, I think the way we play, I think kind of the reason that Rado has brought in the players that he initially brought in, obviously before Dario changed coaches, is because he sees the potential in the way we can play. And I think we all individually bring something to the team. So whether it's like a bench player or someone starting, I think every single person brings value. And I think Rado, that's why he's a quality kind of coach, is because he's scouted all of these girls that will suit the system that Melbourne City want to play. It's not like any other team really. And I love the style that we play. So yeah, like I said before, I'm enjoying my football here. But yeah, it's everyone.
Yeah. And how do you feel like, sorry to go going on about the change in formations, but like,
she's trying to get info. You see what she's trying to do? If
I could just get a notepad and write down what you're doing this weekend. No, but
I'm not telling you.
No, how have you found, like, obviously your position when you switch from a 3 to a 4? You're probably one of the players that's most influenced by that. There's a lot of change in that role. How have you found, like, do you feel like that's helped you as a player and you can adapt to all these scenarios, and is that something you can take away from your experience?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I love both formations, and I think the thing that I love most about how City want us to play is that they allow their fullbacks to go so high. So even if we're playing with the back four, I will still have the freedom to go as high as I want. So it does change my positioning a bit with a 3 back compared to a 4 back. But at the same time, they still kind of give me the freedom to do what I know and do what I want to do, kind of thing. So yeah, I think both formations I love, and I think most of us played the formation last season with the 3 at the back, so we can chop and change between the two. But yeah.
I want to ask you, you touched on a little bit about, you know, moving from home to play for City, and now you've done this too, Miranda, you know, change your states. How important is that, and how, obviously it's a massive step and a really big change, but how important is that for a player's development? I want to hear from the both of you. We'll go with you first, Kaitlyn.
Yeah, I think it's massive. I just think you don't know how much you'll learn until you do it and until you take the next step. So I think it's a massive risk at the time, but I think when you do it, you know that it's either going to be a risk or a reward, and hopefully the reward pays off. But it is at the same time, it's kind of like a fresh start. So that was my mindset coming into City, is I was like, I can make a new name for myself here. So you kind of earn your game time and make a name for yourself. If you work as hard as you possibly can, it'll pay off.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I agree. I think moving away from home, it challenges you as a footballer, but also as a person. And I think, like, I moved fresh out of school, so I went from very cozy life at home to, you know, shipped halfway across the country. So, yeah, definitely it has challenged me. And I think it's something pretty much every footballer has to do at some point in their lives if they really want to make something of their career. You can't stay at one place for your entire time. So, yeah, I've loved it, and I'd love to keep challenging.
Let's not keep moving.
No. I was almost said that, but I was like, no.
You've already found the best state. Like, I don't know. Just got to hit that marker for Radio Dub every week. We just mentioned that Melbourne is the best state. Now, Kaitlyn, you come from Queensland. Now, Queensland, I don't dislike Queensland. I like the sun shining. The weather chops and changes, much like Melbourne, but I feel like it's a much more drastic change in Queensland.
Oh, that's a
I
big
don't
call.
agree.
Yeah.
Or
Do
Gold
not agree.
Coast.
That's huge.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, these guys got floods. Have we not seen
We had
that?
floods.
Oh, but that's like far, far away. It's not like Melbourne. That's like country Victoria. It doesn't really count.
Our
does it?
Maribyrnong, our
country
training
Victoria.
pitch was flooded.
Nah, but Kaitlyn, I want to understand Queensland. What's the football like in Queensland? They're obviously not better than NPL Victoria, but what's it like in Queensland?
Back to the floods as well. My family house got flooded last season, like in the middle of the season.
In Queensland?
So in Queensland, yeah.
Hey,
It's crazy. What was the other question again?
the other question is, obviously NPL Victoria is the dominant force in NPL, force for NPL Victoria, but what's it like in NPL in Queensland and developing the talent? Like what's the skill like there?
I mean, it's decent everywhere. Kind of every state, I think, has a decent program, and everyone's working to get to the best. I think Victoria and New South Wales are probably a bit of step ahead, and then maybe Queensland. But yeah, it's decent. Like you see all the kind of Lions girls or even the new QAS girls that are going to Raw. They're all starting from the NPL. So yeah, it's a pretty good quality there.
What about outside of football? What's the biggest change from Queensland to Victoria? Are the people different? Does something in your day-to-day life change dramatically because of this movement between states?
Yeah, I think the people are a bit different. Like in Queensland, we were saying before, like you can drive on cruise control and like have a foot out the window. Like everyone is so chill there, and like no one really cares about anything. So it's a bit different. But I mean, the people here are sick too. And I probably think the biggest change would be the weather, but in the opposite of what you said before.
Oh,
Yeah.
no.
I think Melbourne's weather is bipolar.
Yeah.
No. I don't know what the sudden attack on Melbourne is.
You got some rose-coloured glasses
No,
on, I
everyone
think.
everyone.
It's just objectively not true, because I'm
Yeah.
going to be honest
I
with you.
think it's objectively true. I think Melbourne is fantastic. 10 out of
I
10.
didn't say it's not fantastic, but I
10
said
out of
that
10.
the dramatic swings in weather is like a
Melbourne's
feature of
consistent,
Melbourne.
I think, guys. Melbourne's consistent. It knows what it's going to be. It knows we're going to give you. It knows it's going to provide you 4 seasons in a day. At least you already know it's coming. Okay? It's consistency.
What do you reckon the
consistent-
range? Yeah.
It's
This is not a weather.
consistently
It's not a weather.
bipolar.
It's not a weather podcast.
It's a weather podcast.
not a
The
weather
range of
podcast, people. It's a
temperatures in
football
Brisbane
podcast.
compared to the range in Melbourne.
Guys, this is
it's
not-
night and day.
We're interviewing Kaitlyn Torpey. Yeah, let's get back on track. Let's get back on track, everybody. And now, Kaitlyn, I want to just talk about your, obviously, you're still really, really young, and there's obviously been lots of milestones. But what has been the most pivotal milestone in your football journey so far?
I would probably say my move to Melbourne. I think like in my early seasons of Raw, I had got pretty decent game time, but then in the later seasons, I was dealing with a bit of stomach issues that kind of kept me from playing a bit. I got them sorted and then kind of chose to start again in Melbourne. So I think everything football-wise since being here has been a massive kind of change for me. It's been amazing. So that's probably the biggest milestone.
Now, I want to look ahead to this Saturday. Now, you're playing at KC Fields, which I'm very grateful about. It's 15 minutes away from my house. I know everybody else is crying themselves to sleep about it, but shame for you guys.
Me included.
What's obviously the track record for City against Victory? It swings Victory's way in recent times. Looking ahead to that game, how are you seeing that? What do you think? If you can't obviously tell us, but like, what are the battles that you think are going to be really important to decide who wins that game?
Well, I think the main thing that we're thinking about and kind of taking into consideration is that somehow Victory, you guys always turn it on when it comes to finals time and at the end of the season. So we know that you guys are massive finals players, which is going to be probably our biggest challenge. But I think like you said, our track record at the moment goes Victory's way. But I think that's kind of the best position to be in, that we are the underdogs coming into the game. So it's kind of like we have not a lot to lose,
Yeah, I would agree. I think there is something in Victory that I've obviously just joined this year. So it's something that it's hard to say we're just going to switch on. like, oh, it's finals time now, we'll just kind of pick it up. Like, I feel like that's what's seen from the outside is, oh, okay, it's just a thing that happens in finals, is everything turns up. But I feel like it's the preparation that's going into, like, these 2-week period. And I feel like it's been good that we've had a little, like, a week off in between. I feel like it's different to any other club that I've been at. And I think that's what sets us apart, and that's what's, you know, proved pivotal the last few years for them.
So there's still some pressure for you guys.
Yeah.
Though. There's even more pressure, I would imagine, with that kind of a track record, though.
I mean, Miranda. So Kaitlyn's spoken about coming in almost as the underdogs because
Get your
knowing.
words out,
Yeah, I'll
please.
get there.
God.
The underdogs because of what we know about Victoria's reputation. Does the club feel like you're the favourites heading into this game?
I feel like we would always back ourselves in any game. I feel like when we're on, we can beat any team. But yeah, obviously these last couple of games, we've drawn way too many games. I think that's very well known that we have not been able to put games to bed that we should have put to bed. So probably our track record the last few games, like we got, a draw against Canberra, a draw against Wellington. Not the best run-in. So I feel like form-wise, City are probably favourites. But yeah, if you look at the history,
like
context, the situation.
I like these fighting words.
Yeah.
I like these. I can't wait to get to Casey Fields. I can't.
And Kaitlyn, how do you prepare for something so strange and inexplicable like a team that just turns it on for finals? What have been the kinds of conversations that you've had at the club to try and prepare for this really strange thing?
Well, like Miranda said, we back ourselves going into this game as well. So I think, we kind of just want to focus on us as well. We want to just, if we can play our game, I think we can pull it off. So if we are at the best of our kind of ability, I back us. And we're all confident going into this game, aware that Victory are finals players. So it's going to be a sick game. It's going to be a great challenge for both teams. I think it's going to be a good game.
No, I look forward to it. I like a Melbourne derby. You know, obviously there are the new kids on the block though, Western United. Are they the annoying sibling or the annoying cousin? What's the feeling towards Western United? Is there any built animosity right now, or does the rivalry still need to develop?
Well, we've had 2 losses to them, so we're pretty fired up to verse them again. I think both games, if you look at the stats, probably shouldn't have gone that way. So we're a bit excited to verse them again. We're focused on this weekend first and go from there.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like we were so mad. Obviously, played them first game of the year, 60-kilometre wins. It was not a good time. But we were so annoyed when we didn't get to play them again. So I feel like that's our goal. We want to play them sometime in the future. Obviously, we're focusing on the now, but in the back of our minds, I'm like, I'm going to beat West.
So everybody's saying, we want to get a dog.
Another crack.
Have another crack.
Yeah.
This is teasing up. If it happens, in this time in the finals, be great. But if it happens next season, I'm very excited about how spicy the affair is going to be because you are right, Kaitlyn. Like looking back on those, those 2 games, you guys were certainly the more dominant. Particularly, I would say even more in the second game, and it kind of just went strange. But doesn't matter. You guys are in finals right now. You're in the finals. Who cares? But I want to talk about, the squad dynamic this year. You got a lot of younger players have come in, some new talent. What's that been like with those guys, and who's been a player that's really surprised you and really impressed you with their ability?
It's a great question. I think we kept our squad quite like the core of our squad from last season, so it was an easy transition coming into this season. And we all kind of know each other so well. So, obviously the likes of Polly McNamara has been amazing since she's been back. But I think this season, Danny Gaelic has been awesome for us as well. She's a young gun. But even, might be a bit biased here, but Aaliyah Davidson, I think before she got injured, she was holding our team together so well. So she's a big loss for us as well. But yeah, I could name our whole team, honestly. There's been so many good players.
No, there has been a lot of good players, but you mentioned one. Obviously, we're part of the Torpedo fan club, but pretty close up there is the Mac fan club. We are. I'm
Big Max.
Big Max.
Big Max.
Big Max.
You're on it with the names today.
on fire tonight.
So I'm thinking maybe we get some shirts printed, get some banners. I'm ready to be at Amy Park. I've already penciled her in for the Matilda squad. I'm ready to be on the sidelines saying, Tony, get her on, get the Mac on. What makes the Mac so special?
She has this kind of fire about her. I said to her, I don't know if you've ever, I've read this book recently by Tim Grover, about, what's it called? Relentless.
Oscar's
I don't know
probably
if
read
you
it
guys
somewhere.
have ever heard of it.
Oscar's probably read it these days.
It kind of refers to some athletes as like a cleaner, which kind of means that they would, at least like a Michael Jordan, like they would do anything and anything to win. And I think she's kind of different in the way that she's so relentless. Like she will actually do anything to win. She's a bit of a psychopath. Like I love her.
I can imagine that. Yeah.
Crazy. Yeah. She's just, you can see her potential. I think she's like something special. I'm so excited for her future.
Can you guys just not play on the same side so it's easy to tell you two apart? It's really greatly appreciated.
Honestly, I don't know what to do about it. But I think she gets more annoyed because every time she does something good, it's like, oh, the torpedo. And I'm like, I'll take
you
that.
get the credit.
Yeah.
I mean, it must be pretty awesome to kind of be so closely involved in I know we're centering in a lot on Holly McNamara, but
this is which one of the guests here, please.
I know, but also Holly McNamara is such an exciting footballer, and I think that's assisted and facilitated by what Kaitlyn you do as well. How's your on-pitch relationship with Holly?
She is one of my favorite players to play with. We kind of have this thing like in the Canberra game, me, Holly and Minnie, like everyone else too, but we have this relationship from going from last season to then RPL Leichhardt, and playing together in the NPL in Sydney and then back to this season. So like when Holly came back, it was so much fun. We just have so much fun on the field. Like last season, I think it was in the Sydney game, and Holly had a shot and it went out for a throw in, and straight away I was like, I just gave her so much shit for it. We just hang each other out. We just kind of have fun on the field. So I think it kind of makes us all calm down a bit more and we can all have a laugh while we're playing. So yeah, I love playing with her.
Is that intimidating to hear, Miranda, just how much fun the opposition have just playing football? They're just like, oh, we're just having a good time. We're just here for the vibes.
Yeah, everyone's got to love playing football, otherwise you wouldn't do it. But
Sure.
yeah, no, I'm sure we'll be having some fun this weekend.
Oh, you see these fighting words. This is what we like to have here.
You got your spice.
This is what we like to have.
You want some spice on the weekend?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think that football needs a little bit more spice. That's all I want. I want some more fighting words. I want people to, talk themselves up, because I think that there are some phenomenal players who don't do enough self-promotion. I feel like if I was their marketing manager, I'd be like, let's talk our whatever the expletive that I'm not allowed to say here. But because there is some tremendous play. Now, Kaitlyn, obviously in your position, there's some great players. Now, would you rank yourself numero uno, dos, cuatro? Where are we ranking? Where are you ranking yourself amongst the league's best? Because I feel like it's pretty high up there.
Thank you. I don't know. Honestly, there's some quality fullbacks in the league, and it's just growing. Like you've seen the new fullbacks come into the league and shine. So I don't know. You tell me.
I mean, you mentioned the desire for trash talk, Pokuah, and look, it's risky business, and we've got two players who don't want to say anything to get themselves in trouble. But I'll open the floor. Kaitlyn, do you have a message, a final message that you want to send to Miranda / Melbourne Victory as a whole ahead of this weekend?
Good luck.
I I feel like that's such the dub vibe. It's just like we are all like mates, and you have mates on every team, and so it's just like actually you spoke about did we send thank you cards to City? I invited some of the City girls over to my house for pasta after they won. I told them before the game, I said, if you win, I will come to my house and I will cook you pasta. Okay. You can play with my puppy. That will be your reward. So, yeah, no, I feel like everyone's good friends.
Do you have any fighting words for Melbourne City?
No, good luck.
Oh,
no,
that felt spicy.
Yeah.
If you lose, I'll invite you over to my house and give you pasta.
Yeah, we'll do that again. We'll make the same deal.
I won't be coming over.
I like that a lot. Now, Kaitlyn, really, really thank you for joining us here. Obviously, we are members of the Torpedo fan club, and I feel like we should get some merch. Oscar? I feel like there's a lot of players.
That sounds expensive, but yeah, go on.
We'll find something in the budget. We'll find something in the budget. Kaitlyn, thank you so much for joining us here today, and good luck on the weekend. I'll see you guys at the game because I'll be there. Doing some stuff. I mean, I'm working gal. I'm working gal.
Selling merchandise.
Exactly, selling merchandise.
Kmart shirts with like Sharpie written torpedo on it.
Exactly. I'll be selling merch at the front of KC Fields. Kaitlyn, have a lovely rest of your evening, and good luck on the weekend.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. Good luck, Miranda.
Good luck. See you on the weekend.
Bye.
Now, thank you, Kaitlyn Torpey, for joining us. We really, really obviously appreciated that. And Miranda, are you ready? Are you ready for the weekend? Are you guys, are you ready to go?
Yeah, I think it's been a great couple of weeks of prep. Yeah, I've just been super excited. The whole squad's excited, but I feel like there has been talk about the expectation that is on us, because the team has showed up so well in the last two final series. It's always like we didn't want to get to the point where we were expecting it from ourselves without putting the work in. So I feel like that's been a big focus, is especially with not coming in great form, is let's get back to doing what we know we can do and playing the football where we're at our best. And, I mean, throw anyone at us and we'll take them on.
I want to ask you about the Wellington game. Specifically. What was obviously, I think the Casey was really unlucky. In both goals, I think the back pass maybe caught her out for the first one, and then she slipped for the second one. And as a goalkeeper yourself, how is that, when you see that, how's that, you'd like, that's just like, it's such a thing that just can happen. Like, how does that feel as a fellow member of the goalkeeper? What's the alliance? The union.
Goalkeeper union.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's definitely, even when stuff happens like that to people on the other team, you kind of like, it's kind of like a dagger. You're like, because you have empathy, you know exactly how that person's feeling when it just doesn't go your way in that moment. And Casey, gives me heart palpitations on the regular when she goes down. Usually she gets back up, which thank God she did. So she's just been a rock this season, and we're really, really lucky to have her. And when she's firing, she's absolutely firing, and she'll bring it out.
She's definitely one of the best goalkeepers, if not the best goalkeeper in the competition ever. Always so reliable, and
I think that number one.
Yeah,
non-biased, but
no, and I think that's what was really hard to watch about that Wellington, because you know how good she is, and it's just such an unlucky thing that can happen and things like that. But I'll tell you something that was really positive about that game. Melina Reyes,
wow,
that goal. Showing that to me 5 times over, because the way in which Melina is just able to shrug people off, there are a lot of strikers who are just a bit about the finesse and just about the really they can do things really well in intricate little spaces. Obviously, Melina's fantastic, but something I love about her game is how physical it is and how she's not afraid to have that contact and go through the contact and take that shot. And that's what was exemplified by that shot.
And shout out as well, because it's her birthday as well today.
Yes.
So that's why we're talking you up.
Happy birthday, Melina.
Happy birthday, Melina. But how many times is she beating you at training when she's going?
Oh, mate. Too many to count. No, it was good. She always loves a volley. When we're doing crossing drills, she watches it onto her foot so well, and 100% of the time she's making good contact. But it's whether it's going in the net or onto the tram tracks on the back of the road. It's a 50-50, but hopefully she pulls the net one out this weekend.
She really is she kind of embodies the X factor that we talk about with Melbourne Victory, that capacity to pull out the most incredible piece of play. I do just want to go back to the goalkeeping situation just for a moment and ask, obviously, as a backup goalkeeper for a team, it's a different kind of psychological state that you've got to be in for most of the season. We've seen this season you've kind of been called upon at late notice in the middle of a game. Can you step up and do that?
Let's get those penalty replays on a loop.
Indeed.
Talk them up.
How does it feel going into a final series going, what if something did, of course we hope it doesn't, but something meant that Casey couldn't continue and you had to step onto the pitch?
No, I think it's a massive mental prep thing. And the way I've kind of started to look at it this season is I'm kind of just imagining I am playing, if that makes sense. So sometimes when you're playing, you won't touch the ball for 80 minutes of the game, and then you're called upon in the 90th minute to make a game-winning save. That is goalkeeping. That's the mentality you have to have. And so really it's nothing different on the bench. I'm trying to stay focused in the game. Not too emotional. Sometimes I get too emotional.
Okay, can I touch on that really quickly?
Yeah, okay, go.
The amount of times I've seen games where it's seen the Victory bench and Miranda's up and yelling. I think I remember specifically in the Brisbane game, you got up and I was like, Miranda,
sit down,
please.
I'm going to get in trouble one day for that. But sometimes a little bit emotional. Maybe I can rein it in, but I call it passion.
I like it. I enjoy it.
There's your spice.
Exactly. Yeah. I enjoy that.
But no, it's the same thing. You may not get called upon for 80 minutes. 81st minute, something happens, you're called upon. It's the exact same thing. I think it's just that mental state of when I'm called upon, I need to be ready. And whether you're first keeper, second keeper, third keeper, I feel like it's the same.
No, I think that's a good mentality to have. And I don't think would you have the ability to do that, Oscar?
No, I maybe one game or something, I'd put all my energy into it. But by the time we got into game 2, I'd be like, I can't do it anymore.
I'm just going to tell you, as I said, I would get 2 goals, 3 assists.
3 assists.
I could do it for maybe 2 games and then I'm out. I just wanted to one-up you.
Sorry, you keep building on this. First you said you'd get 2 goals. Now you've said you get 3 assists. Then you said that you would do it in the big games. And now you're saying that you'll do that in the space of 2 or 3 games.
No. I was just saying I could do one better.
Jeff Hopkins, are you listening?
No,
wow.
Let me say this, I just want to say this, okay? When we were down at with doing the video with Melbourne Victory with Paige Joyce and Jessica Nash, check that out on YouTube. We have that up. We will put the podcast of it up at some point, maybe. But Jeff saw me out there. He saw me out there and he said, "Do you want to try out?" I'm just saying that. It was said. It was said. Ask Jeff. I'm telling you, I've got some technique. I don't know what, as I told you, I'm an athlete. I can do these things. I don't know. I don't think I could do, I don't think I'd get a penalty because, I feel the pressure would be too much. But I feel like I stayed in the flow of a game.
For the 5 minutes that you're on.
Yeah, 5 minutes on. I'm telling you, I can make some lethal runs. I'm quick. I don't know what to tell you. I'm just quick.
You were talking about people talking themselves up. So you're just setting the example.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm setting
and also Pokuah would not be afraid to lay it down if you had a problem with another player.
Exactly.
You'd be like, I'll tell you who I don't like.
I would take a yellow for a team. I would do it. I'm telling you, I don't know what to say, guys. I'm just built different. God damn it. I'm a skilled athlete. What can I say, Oscar?
This is becoming derailed. I don't know what to do.
Exactly. I couldn't do the goalkeeping thing. I'm definitely 5'2". I'm definitely 5'2". And
it's a bit of a different breed.
I was a goalkeeper back in the day, but just not anymore. I didn't grow. After a certain point, they said it's time to go and sit on the other side. Just saying.
Did you have an experience playing in other positions other than goalkeeper growing up?
Striker for the first few years.
This is what I'm saying.
Yeah, but that's 99% of goalkeepers will play striker before they start in goals. And it's so good. I always love playing in goals. At 9, I love it. I would go play there and just I'm probably a bit rusty now. It's been 8 years. But
everybody wants to be a 9 on this
Miranda,
show.
I'm just saying you, Miranda's not backing you, so I'm telling you I can score more goals than Miranda in fun as well.
Okay.
I'm telling you right now.
I would disagree with that.
No, I'm definitely kidding. I'm definitely kidding. I saw Miranda shoot, and I was like, there's no power coming from my I can get the placement, no power. Yeah. Not happening.
We're shooting from halfway.
Yeah.
And it was good. And it was just the
telling
little
you.
goals. You could do it.
This is what I'm saying. Like, Miranda's seen me. Like, there is some ability there. Like,
I haven't seen this side to you. You're all of a sudden set on like, I'm destined to be a professional footballer.
No, I don't want to be a professional footballer. This is the thing, right? I've been saying it on the pod in a few episodes. Maybe you haven't been listening to the pod episodes, but I've been saying that I want to get back into football. Like, get me back into like a state league side or something.
I went and watched the cup game last night, Heidelberg versus Ringwood. And Ringwood are top of the VPL, I think, at the moment. And it was a good game. Like,
You reckon I can get in the team?
Yeah. Go
That's
on.
what I'm saying.
Go on. Go play like some
Do it.
VPL. And yeah, I reckon you'd tear it up.
I'm telling you, I think
I believe you. Go. Do it.
Yeah,
Try out.
you have to
No,
prove it
seriously.
now.
I reckon
You've laid down the marker.
no. If I get my aerobic endurance up, because it's a bit like couple sprints, and then let's just take a little stroll for a bit, and then let's get back into it. I think if I get it
Like
up,
Messi is what you're saying.
no, I'm not that great on the ball like that. But what I'm saying is, I feel like if I get my aerobic endurance up, I feel like if there's a team out there, I'm telling you, I could make my way up leagues. I'm just telling you. Maybe I got to
The offer's been made. If anyone wants
maybe I need to go ask Dan Foden at Preston. Maybe Dan, give me a tryout.
Wow. That'd be a long way to drive for training, though.
Mate, I would do it to back
prove-
this up.
yeah, okay.
I would commit. I'm telling you, I'd commit.
I look forward to seeing it.
Yeah.
I'm
I
just
do.
telling you. I should feel like you guys should invite me to victory training, see how I go. See
I'll
how I
give you
go.
some kit.
Yeah, see how I go with some goalkeeping practice.
Melina Reyes, watch out.
Yes.
I'm coming for your spot. No, definitely not. Not a chance. But I want to talk about...
How has this pod turned into Pokuah pursuing your footballing dreams?
I'll be honest with you, when you host the podcast, you can do what you like. And this is what this week's episode has turned into. But actually, let's switch, talk about the other finals game. Sydney FC taking on Western United. Big game, 1-1 in the series this season. Western United took out the first one. Sydney FC took out the second one pretty comfortably. How are we feeling about that game? What are the key things you think to look out for during that?
Well, you were talking about it before the show about Courtney Vine. Obviously a question mark after she came off in the Matildas game with, I think it was a calf. So that would be a massive loss for Sydney. Obviously a lot of their attacking threat goes down that right-hand side with her. So it would be an interesting game, especially without Courtney Vine. I feel like that would level it up a bit more. But I feel like Sydney would have the upper hand. Like, they would expect themselves to win, and I think everyone else would expect them to not comfortably. Like, finals is always like, you know, heated, and it's always like close. But I think they'll be comfortable in the game.
Yeah, I think they definitely walk into it as favourites. And I think there are a lot of matchups they probably look at and they go, we probably got probably a player who's just a step above in a lot of positions on the field just because of their experience, and with the experience, you know, that there's more time, they've developed their skills on a different level.
I think first goal is just so important. It's everything.
I
really.
think that Western are good, like being compact. So the longer they can go without getting broken down, the more chance they actually have in this game.
And both teams, Sydney, are most lethal on the counter in transition, particularly with Courtney Vine, and we know that that's up in the air. But yeah, it's just the team that scores the first goal, I would be shocked if they didn't win.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's a fair way to look at that. Wow, Oscar, look at you bringing that analysis today, man.
There you go.
Wow.
Once every hour.
No, I like that.
Well, I would like to say that I called the 3-3 scoreline for the Melbourne City Canberra game ahead.
Okay.
I said to Casey...
In this fashion?
What?
Like, did you think City were going to go through one up and then, like, Canberra were going to come back? Or do you think it was going to be like that?
It was going to be, I thought it was going to be a high scoring. I thought it was going to be very open because I feel like both teams' strengths are where they're attacking rather than they're defensive. And so it was just going to be one after the other. So it was I was pretty hyped.
So you're teeing us up for a prediction for what's going to happen on Sunday?
Miranda, I'm telling you, don't do it to yourself.
What?
Don't do it to yourself. Don't let these people on the internet come for you. Don't let them do it to you, okay? I back you.
They won't come for you if you're right, though.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So, you know.
I've got a 100% record though, maybe.
Maybe send the message and then tweet it just as like you sent this message. See what the time stamp that I had on it. That's, I feel like, the way to go about it. I feel like go about it.
Okay.
Don't let Oscar back you in the corner.
Yeah.
When people come for you. Don't let him do it to you.
I feel like Miranda was wanting to say, but you guys just gone like, don't do it.
I've seen the future.
Okay.
Don't do it, okay?
Okay.
Another big thing that happened obviously during the week was Matildas. Matildas played. Big win against Lionesses. They got the first game against Scotland. They lost.
Yeah.
Did you watch any of that? Did you see any little bit of that?
I watched some of the Scotland game. I think I got frustrated and turned it off. And the England game, I was up doing an assignment, so I watched the highlights. But it was crazy. England, 30 games unbeaten.
Yeah.
And then, like, I've seen some of the press in England has just gone mental. Like,
lost their mind.
Rattled England, like all this stuff. Like, it was crazy. And obviously I love Charlie Grant. I think she is awesome. And to see her score was amazing.
And the reaction after the goal was so heartwarming.
Yes.
She was so excited.
Yeah.
She was so happy.
But that like sums her up as a person. She is so happy and like bubbly. And you could see
Did
it
your
come
time
out.
overlap
What?
at Adelaide?
Yeah, no. But she came home and trained with us for a little bit while I was there. And we also met at some like Matilda's ID camps back a few years ago. But yeah, lovely, lovely girl. And yeah, I'm so happy to see her killing it.
Do you know, I called, my days, my brain today is actually like on a different
0 from 2 from calling
seriously,
memories.
It's so bad. It's Indiana Dos Santos.
Okay.
Indiana Dos Santos, I know I've been calling her the smiling assassin. I might have to take that nickname off her and give it to Charlie Grant.
Yeah.
Because she's so happy. I've never seen a person just so like, and this is what I want to see from players. I want to see them be so happy to play football, because I think the happier you are, the better your football is. And she's so versatile where she can play on the left or the right.
Yeah.
Do you think she's earned a fair shout for like starting in either position?
I think that like after some of the performances she put in, and especially because she's had to kind of step up while Ellie's been away, I think that's given her a real opportunity to like show what she can do at this level and put her hand up and be like, like I'm here, I'm fighting for this starting spot. Obviously she's young, she's still young. So I think there's so much more to come from her, but I would put her as a fair shout to be like contending for that spot.
Me too.
Just the 2-game series really, I think, summed up what we've come to expect from the Matildas over the last, under Tony G, really. Kind of you see the strengths and the weaknesses, and I think that, even the England game, like it wasn't pretty, it wasn't lovely football, pure football or anything, but, when you've got the outlets like Sam Kerr, who's a decent player, I think we can agree.
Just pretty decent.
Yeah, all right. You can kind of get away with it, and it's the highs and the lows. It is the kind of game though that gives me a degree of belief about the World Cup that there could be a good run, because when the kind of it seems like the team's really good, and I don't know how much this is coming from the coaches and how much is from the players, really good at getting hyped up and getting and being at their best for the biggest games.
But it's also, I'm with you on that, but I also think that's a very mentally exhausting to constantly have to bring yourself to that level and then relax and then go back up. It's a lot of to do to an individual's emotion. So I'd like to see them stay at that kind of steady focus and just be consistent in every game, in and out. And I think we've got to really, I know Kayla Morrison was number 1 on my get him an Australian citizenship run. Jens Fulstrom for the Matildas assistant coach. Ever since that man's came in, the Matildas have decided to go and start winning lots of every game here and there. And that man, I might drive him to the ACT to get himself Australian citizenship. That's how much I'm a fan of him at this point.
Yeah. Is that how it works? Anyway.
I've got an Australian citizenship. I feel like that's how it works. I'll do his quiz for him. That's what I'll do.
We have tested Kayla a lot on her performance of the national anthem. It's been called upon multiple times this season.
I definitely did the quiz for my mum when we were going for our Australian citizenship. We passed. I'm still here. So
Nicely done, yeah.
I feel like I get Jens to pass the test.
But I think that, the make or break of the Matildas will be those performances against the lesser teams, if you will, because that's really where a lot of the roadblocks have come. We know that the way that this team can play like we saw against England, when the other team has the ball, when the other team has all the onus to create and to have the possession, and the Matildas can just kind of hit on the counter, that can work really effectively. It's much more so when the onus is on the Matildas that the questions arise.
I feel like that's such Aussie vibes.
Yeah,
It's just
exactly.
the underdog mentality.
For sure.
And it's what you were saying before, is showing up for the big games. But yeah, when we play, who's in our group? Do we have Nigeria?
Ireland, Jamaica.
Oh, Jamaica.
And
No, Jamaica. Am I right? Jamaica?
No, it is Jamaica.
yes.
Yes, and Canada. No?
Uh,
Yes.
Well, I was saying a different team. I wasn't saying not Jamaica, yes, Canada. I was saying also Canada. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
We are
Well done,
really,
team.
oh my God, we really put the brain trust together. We really got
All
the answer.
three
needed.
of our brain cells were working really
Yeah.
hard just then.
Yep. No, but no.
Nigeria. That's really embarrassing.
Is it Nigeria?
Yeah.
Really?
I said Nigeria.
Can I be honest with you? I'm allowed to get away with that. You know why?
I don't-
Can't stand Nigerians. I'm from Ghana. Can't stand them. I can't stand them. No.
Yeah, I thought it was
It's
Nigeria.
only right
Yeah.
for me to forget them. It's only right. If you obviously understand your African history, you understand that Ghana is constantly more dominant than Nigeria. And this is what I actually would like. I want to tell you about a guest that I would like to have on the show. Princess Abini, because I want to settle some Ghana versus Nigeria debates. It's been hotly debated. I've got some Nigerian friends. They
Wow.
constantly keep providing the wrong answers. I want to know if Princess will provide the
Okay.
correct answers.
Radio
So if any-
dub turns geopolitical.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've done weather. We've
Yeah,
done
you can
everything.
do whatever you want.
Well, exactly.
You
When you're the host of the podcast, you get to do what you like.
So is that why Ghana's at the World Cup?
What's your name? Who are you again? Now, I will say, the Ghana women's side, they've actually been doing well. They just beat Senegal 1-0 recently. So we're building. We're building our program. We're getting better. You will see us at the next World Cup. I'm just letting you know.
Wow.
When I join the team,
that's a good
After
point.
you get picked up here, climb through all the
exactly.
leagues.
Go
Wow.
through all the
Yeah.
leagues.
This next 4 years is going to be
I'm
something
saying,
else. Wow.
Oscar, I'm just saying, yeah. When I get to, no, not a chance. I'm gonna let that statement. I'm letting that statement die. But I reckon, I've been thinking recently. I was like, I did a call with Leah Blaney, and I was like, maybe I want to become a coach. Maybe I feel like I couldn't do it. I don't think I'd be very good at it.
Like a head coach or like a
No, it's a development coach. I feel like
yeah.
do you reckon I could? Do you reckon is that something you're looking into? Or do you reckon I could get into that?
Yeah, I got my coaching license. I do
Oh,
coaching.
really?
Yeah, I just started doing coaching with the club actually.
Oh, can you let us know that club or no?
No, Victory.
Oh, sick.
Yeah,
Mate,
the community program.
No, I thought you were about to be like coaching like under sixes at like some club.
No.
And then,
Coach of Ringwood. That's
Yeah.
why. That's why Miranda was at the game yesterday. On the
scouting.
touchline. Being the head. Yeah. Anyway.
no. What's that been like coaching?
No, I love it. I did in Adelaide as well, like just with young kids. Yeah, just a bit of fun, and I love, getting back to the roots of football is just like the joy, and I love that. And there are some kids that absolutely hate their lives when I come, like the kids that hate PE, and they like sit in the corner.
Parents
and
have
cry.
just sent them there.
Yeah. They're just like, I think one kid just sat in the corner and cried the whole time.
Jeez.
And I just said to the teacher, "That's your issue. I'm here to play football. You can deal with that."
We're here to play some football.
Yeah.
If you don't want to be participating, no one's going to force you to play football. And I think that's fair.
Yeah.
The joy's got to be there. You can't force the joy on anyone. Obviously, women's football is very exciting though. So, the sun's like sunshine. It just reaches everybody at some point, and everyone's like, I've got to get involved.
And if you don't like sunshine, that's a you
That's
problem.
really
That's
a you
you
problem, and
problem.
that's
Yeah.
something you might need to go see your doctor, and you might need to get some vitamin D tablets because you might be struggling. But no, it's how long have you been doing that for, coaching?
I got my community goalkeeper license when I was back in Perth, so that would be like 3 years ago now. And I did some like goalkeeper specific coaching, and then when I moved to Adelaide, just as like a little side gig, like I was coaching in schools and stuff with Football Australia. So
Do the kids know ball?
they know ball.
They know ball.
I teach them ball.
Yeah, fair. Miranda, could you teach me? So obviously,
Ball?
I
'cause
will teach you ball.
cool. I'm just saying when I've got a trial at Melbourne Victory for 10 days.
In 10 days.
No, not in 10 days, but I'll get
finals time.
No,
Super sub.
no, not in 10 days. I'll get a 10-day contract. I'm just saying I might send Jeff a tape of mine every single day.
It's just the security footage from elite football of you taking shots. That's your highlights.
I'm just
package.
telling you, I had something. There was something there. I'm telling you. Was there anything ever there for you, Oscar, in your footballing ability?
No.
No. Well,
No.
what sports were you playing, actually? If it's the other game in this country, we don't talk about it.
I don't know who would be interested in hearing this explanation, to be honest.
I'll know. This is I'm hosting, so yeah.
So what do you want to know?
Did you play any other sports as a kid?
Yeah, I played AFL.
Oh, it's a no sharing rule. No one cares. Miranda, what sports did you play?
I played everything.
Yeah.
Tennis.
I played tennis too.
Yes, I was
Yeah.
we actually all like tennis. Yes,
Yeah.
I'll say that actually.
Huge.
So.
Tennis, T-ball. What else? Random stuff.
Okay, fair. So you're an athlete.
Cricket.
So you're an athlete. You were an athlete, but now you're a professional athlete.
Okay, and you're an athlete who's going to become a professional athlete.
Exactly.
And I'm a non-athlete who is never going to become a professional athlete. Wow.
It's a good squad we got
the
here.
whole range.
Really, really good range that we've got here. Thank you guys for joining us here on another edition of Radio Dub. We really appreciate it. And if you're watching the stream, which I don't, the stream is not where we get where our home is. Our home is the podcast. I may have started it a couple of minutes late, but that's okay. You can listen to on the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and everything else and everywhere else. So thank you for joining us on another week of Radio Dub. We discussed grand final. Oh, not grand final. It was the final series. Talked to Kaitlyn Torpey. Talked about our membership to the Torpedoes.
Mine's on hold this weekend.
Yeah, your Torpedo membership.
Yeah.
That's fine. You can hand it.
Suspended membership, yeah.
Yeah, I'll get it back later.
Exactly. We chatted my ambitions as a professional footballer.
Yeah.
Just very random.
Took up about a third of the show.
That's right.
And weather.
And
as
weather.
well.
And
Yeah.
weather.
Because misconceptions about what Melbourne's weather is.
Mate, I stay loyal. I stay true and loyal. And we obviously chatted about the other finals games and some of the Matilda stuff. So thank you for joining us this week. We'll see you back here next week. We will. I promise about that. And bye for now.
Pickett, she lays it